system, and leadership in sustainability and innovation. What brings us together today is not just trade, it's the potential for meaningful partnership. So beyond sectors and statistics that we'll be having a lot of during the day, what truly matters are the people in this room, the entrepreneurs, the investors, and decision makers who have the vision to see opportunity where others may see distance. Thank you, and I wish you all a very productive forum. It's my honor to invite now Engineer Mohammed Al-Gawsaqi, President of the General Authority for Investment in Free Zones, GAFI, to deliver his opening remarks.
Good morning to all. Excellencies, distinguished guests, representatives of the Finnish business delegation and the Egyptian business community, ladies and gentlemen. It's a profound honor to welcome you today to the Egyptian-Finland Business Forum. This forum reflects the firm and shared commitments of the two countries to advancing economic cooperation and building stronger, more impactful, and more sustainable partnerships between our business communities. This gathering comes at a particularly important moment in our bilateral relations, marked by the visit of His Excellency President Alexander Stubb to Egypt, a visit that signals the beginning of a new phase in our cooperation and sets a clear and forward-looking directions for strengthening economic and investment ties between our two nations. Ladies and gentlemen, Egypt and Finland may be geographically distant. However, we are united by a common vision. Moreover, it remains a relationship with significantly untapped potential. Finnish investment in Egypt currently stands at approximately $49 million across 43 companies, operating primarily in ICT, services, and industrial sectors. These figures should not be viewed as a ceiling, but rather a foundation for significantly deeper engagement and a clear indications of the scale of opportunities ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past decade, Egypt has made significant investment in building a solid economic foundation. Throughout large-scale infrastructure developments, creating a robust platform of absorbing growth and attracting long-term, high-scale investments. Building on this foundation, we are advancing through a comprehensive program of institutional and structural reforms, supported by stable and disciplined microeconomic policies, aimed at providing the business community and improving it, reducing administrative burdens, enhancing transparency, and ensuring level playing field of all investors, with the private sector positioned as the primary engine of growth. This direction is further reinforced by a comprehensive digital transformation of the government services, including the full digitalization of investment services, streamlined licensing procedures, and comprehensive governance framework to enhance efficiency and ensure predictability. Ladies and gentlemen, at the time when uncertainty and lack of predictability are increasingly defining the global economic landscape, Egypt presents a strong, credible, and a competitive investment proposition as a reliable production and export-led platforms. Its strategic location provides direct access to the European markets, African markets, and Middle Eastern markets, supported by an extensive network of trade agreements, granting preferential access to more than 100 markets worldwide. This is complemented by competitive production costs, a large domestic market exceeding 108 million consumers, a young, skilled, and cost-efficient workforce, positioning Egypt as a dependable base for manufacturing and for integration into global value chains. Within this framework, the role of the General Authority for Investment and Free Zones, GAFI, is clearly defined to ensure that these advantages are translated into concrete and measurable outcomes. Our focus is on facilitating market entry, accelerating procedures, and supporting investors through the full life cycle of their projects. In this context, particularly emphasis has been placed on practical and effective facilitation measures, including the continuation expansion of the Golden License, which provides a single, comprehensive approval for strategic projects, significantly reducing time and minimizing procedural complexities. In parallel, we are actively promoting the incentive framework under the Law No. 72 issued at the year 2017, which offers a wide range of guarantees and incentives, including tax incentives linked to priority sectors and geographical areas, as well as additional incentive for strategic and export-oriented investments. This is further complemented by expansion of investment zones, providing fully serviced environment that reduce cost, time, and administrative complexities. Operationally, we at GAFI work closely with investors to resolve challenges, particularly in manufacturing sectors with strong export potential, ensuring that projects move efficiently from planning to execution and later to expansion. Ladies and gentlemen, the potential for Egypt-Finland cooperation is substantial, driven by the strong complementarities of our two economies. Finland's strengths in innovation and advanced technologies aligns closely with Egypt's industrial base and market access, particularly in ICT, renewable energy, manufacturing, engineering industries, and healthcare, creating clear opportunities for scalable production and export-led growth. Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to make full and effective use of today's forum as a platform for practical engagement, to identify concrete opportunities and to build partnerships that translates into real progress on the ground. The team at GAFI stands ready to support you at every stage of your investment journey. We look forward to working closely with our Finnish partners to build a stronger, a forward-looking economic relationship that delivers tangible and lasting results for our two countries. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Engineer Al-Gawsaqi. And now I'm pleased to invite Mr. Jarno Siriala, Deputy Minister for International Trade at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Finland, for his speech.
Excellencies, esteemed partners, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor to address you today at this important gathering celebrating the long-standing and fruitful relationship between Finland and Egypt. Our commercial ties date back more than a century, and from the very beginning, Egypt has served as a vital entry point for Finnish companies into the Arab world and a gateway through which we also have looked further into Africa. This strategic role has given Egypt a unique and lasting importance in Finland's international economic engagement. Let me begin by expressing sincere gratitude to Dr. Mohammed Farid Saleh, Minister of Investment and Foreign Trade, to Engineer Mohammed El-Gawsaqi, and to Ms. Lamia Mukhtar for the excellent cooperation in organizing the Egypt-Finland Business Forum. Your commitment has made this event possible, and we deeply value your partnership. Today, we are joined by distinguished Finnish companies, a delegation of 19 companies. Many of these firms operate globally and represent the very best Finland has to offer. World-class expertise, cutting-edge innovation, and uncompromising quality. They are here with a clear purpose: to meet you, to listen, and to build lasting partnerships for mutual benefit. Dear friends, the development of bilateral trade between our countries has been encouraging. Finland's exports to Egypt have shown resilience and recovering following the economic challenges of 2023. In 2025, Egyptian exports to Finland grew significantly by 25%. This is a strong signal that our trade relationship is becoming more balanced and more dynamic. At the same time, there is a clear and exciting potential to take our cooperation even further. As Egypt's economic outlook continues to strengthen, new opportunities are emerging for Finnish companies to deepen their engagement and expand their presence in this dynamic market. Many Finnish companies already work successfully with local agents and distributors, providing a strong foundation on which to build. Looking ahead, there is great value in complementing these partnerships with a more active local presence and closer collaboration with Egyptian counterparts. This can unlock new possibilities, strengthen relationships, and create long-term value for both sides. Egypt today offers a highly compelling business environment. It stands out as a large, strategic, and increasingly stable market with significant growth potential. Egyptian public and private sector partners are not only seeking high-quality solutions, but also long-term collaborations. Companies that are present, committed, and ready to grow together. Finnish companies have a great deal to offer Egypt, particularly in areas aligned with Egypt's Vision 2030 strategy. These include infrastructure development, digital transformation, energy transition, and healthcare, among others. In all of these sectors, Finland brings not only advanced technological expertise, but also a holistic approach built on strong public-private partnerships, sustainability, and long-term reliability. Dear friends, our reputation is one of trust. Finnish solutions are known for their quality, transparency, and durability. These are exactly the qualities needed to support Egypt's ambitious development goals. Ladies and gentlemen, the foundation of Finland-Egypt relations is strong. The trajectory of our trade is positive. The opportunities ahead are significant. Now is the time to deepen our cooperation, to strengthen our presence, and to unlock the full potential of our partnership. Let us use today not only to exchange views, but to take action to build the next chapter of Finnish-Egypt economic relations, and do it together. I thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, and we will be definitely exploring the vast opportunities with the 19 Finnish companies present today. If opening remarks set the vision, the next session explores how to turn that vision into investment reality. We proceed to our first session entitled Egypt's Investment Landscape, Unlocking Investment and Trade Potential. Let me welcome the moderator for this session, Mr. Karim Rifat, Executive Chairman of Engage Group. And please welcome our panelists, Mr. Mark Mashriqi, Chief Executive Officer, Eagle Timber, OY, Mr. Ayman Qurra, General Manager, Kutamaki, Egypt, Mr. Yarno Sidiala, Deputy Minister for International Trade, Ministry for Foreign Affairs of Finland, Engineer Mohammed Al-Gawsaki, President of GAFI, and Mr. Jean-Francois Baril, Founder and Chief Executive Officer of HMD Global.
Can you hear me, guys? Can everyone hear me? Good morning again, everyone. First of all, I'm very pleased and honored to be again invited by my friend, Mr. Mohammed Al-Gawsaki, and my fellow friends at GAFI to take the opportunity to moderate this panel. I am working under very strict time instructions to respect 45 minutes time of the session. So allow me to set the scene. It's working, yeah. Allow me to set the scene. So I did a bit of very quick research. We are in our 104th year of diplomatic relations between Egypt and Finland. So I think that's a very good longevity. I think from what I've read, there are shared lessons to be achieved among both parties. One party, in that case, Egypt, has a bigger GDP than the other, around $100 billion of bigger GDP, but the other party has much better public debt control, and albeit with small growth rates. One party is very well positioned to be a manufacturing and trade hub. Another party is here to service this manufacturing and trade hub with technology and with a lot of learning about innovation. I think one party, in that case Finland, has a lot of lessons to tell Egypt about how to control the trade deficit, because there are only $3 billion of trade deficits versus almost $40 billion of trade deficit in the case of Egypt. So I think to set the scene, there are a lot of commonalities, but also shared lessons to happen. Not forgetting that I am a former diplomat and counting on my friendship with Mohammed Al-Gawsaki, I will start with His Excellency Yarno Sidiala. I would like to ask you, beyond the conventional trade relations that exist today, and that is obviously, as you both mentioned in your speeches, not to the level of the ambition of both countries in terms of the trade flows or the investment flows and so on. What do you think, other than what you like about Egypt, and that's what I want to do, what do you want to see more from the Egyptian government doing to incentivize the 19 companies present in the room and much more to come to Egypt, invest in Egypt, and trade out of Egypt?
Now I think, yeah. Thank you. I think, I mean, when I think of Egypt, so it's of course, when I look at it, it's much more than just a large domestic market for us. So it's a country with unique strategic position. We heard that already in the opening remarks. As it was said, so connecting Europe, the Middle East and Africa, and increasingly positioning itself as a regional hub for production and logistics and investments. And from Finnish perspective, this is highly relevant. So in the world today, so the companies are currently reassessing their global value chains and considering how to balance their operations between Europe, Asia, and nearby regions. So I think in this sense, I mean, Egypt is in a very unique place, and I think our companies have been following that, like we also from the government side. So what Egypt has been doing in order to take the most out of this unique position it's holding, and we definitely recognize the progress that Egypt has been making when it comes to different instruments and other ways to attract more foreign companies here, and Finnish companies definitely. We are looking into these options right now. What options are on the table? But Egypt, I mean, it's for us. I mean, it's been a really. There's a long history between our two countries, more than 100 years, as it was said already, and I think we have a lot of expertise gathered during the years. But the way the world is today, so I think we are heading a little bit to uncharted waters and try to make the best out of it. But let's do it together, as I said.
Thank you. Having gotten your permission to let the other people on the panel speak more, I will move to Jean-François Baril. So you are a CEO of Global HMD. I read this is the company that was behind Nokia, connecting people at my age. So the market of this Nokia connecting people has globally, regionally, and of course in Egypt significantly evolved. It's been different from a competitive landscape, from a technology landscape. How have you been able to adapt your value proposition, and how do you look into Egypt as a destination or as a hub with the current market realities of this technology?
Thank you very much. If I can get the microphone. Yeah. Thank you for the question. Yes, our heritage is definitely Nokia, and with the quality associated with the brand and the trust. Now we have still Nokia as a brand for feature phone. As you remember, the 3310, or now maybe you are more used to the 105 here, but not only. And we have developed also our brand, and we continue, but very much on the affordability, on making sure that we are able to support countries like Egypt, but not only Egypt. Many countries would like to have a very tangible, down-to-earth transition on digital. We are #1 in the world for feature phone, which is great to be. We are #1 in Europe for mobile phone, but only for worldwide we are feature phone. And we are adding on top of feature phone, which is, let's say, 105 is $12 retail price. We can put some AI and transform this device almost like an incredible smartphone for people also who cannot have the literacy of writing or typing correctly. You can already command your phone like this one. Another segment which is very, very important for us is to get access to digital services, and we have created a very robust software which is called SoftLock, which is capable to do microfinancing. So for fintech or financial institutions, this is securing the device much better than anybody else. And with that, we believe that we can represent a good asset in Egypt, but not only Egypt, because as it has been said many times during the introduction, we see Egypt not only as a destination, but as a true platform to export out of Egypt. And we are very grateful for the support that we are getting from all the authorities, and GAFI in particular, for helping us to transfer this knowledge not only for the population of Egypt, but outside.
Thank you very much. Yeah, not completely different. Ayman Kurra. So you're in something I'm trying to understand. You're into an industry that I'm trying to understand. So you're into fiber packaging. Um, for me, that sounds like real manufacturing, but at the same time, probably driven largely by technology and very impacted by the current evolution of technologies and AI and so on. Can you tell us a bit more about what's fiber packaging and what are you up to in Egypt?
Fiber packaging, we use recyclable waste paper to produce what we call molded fiber in form of egg tray, a carton, cup carrier. What is important is we use the world-class operation in respect of energy consumption, of water usage, raw material, it's local raw material. So once you implement advanced management with business know-how within our circumstances, you create competitive advantage. So if I make long story short, most foreign investors here, bottom line, they make good profits. I'm talking personal experience. I have two joint ventures. Both are doing quite well. Maybe there are some red tape at the beginning, but the bottom line, you make a lot of good profit and long-lasting, profitable business relationship. Unfortunately, I would say Egypt is not marketing itself as it should be. There is a big effort, but not good enough, I would say. When I meet people outside, they hear about Egypt when there is an accident or some problem, but they're not really following what benefit they are. Things are changing, no doubt. Now positions are much better, but we're always keen to have, as we always say, continuous improvement. We have to be better positioned. There is a lot of infrastructure being done in the last few years, a lot of improvement, still things to go to improve, continuous improvement, especially in ease of doing business. It's improved, but it has to be even better because we are in a competition. There are so many, there's Morocco, Egypt, Turkey. I mean, we have to be number one as we should be.
Thank you very much. Every time I try to keep the session non-controversial, you guys mentioned red tape, and then you mentioned competition, and then you mentioned not promoting Egypt enough. We'll come to that with the last speaker will be Mohammed Al-Gawsaki, and I think I will invite you to speak to a lot of people in the floor from Gafi as well after the session. But let's go to Mark. Mark, so you're for me in a very mainstream kind of, trade and manufacturer. You're in the wood business. So I understand the wood business in Egypt is extremely underserviced as a market, so it needs imports either of raw materials or finished products. To put some more, like they say in French, piment in the discussion, and in a very quick interaction with you before the panel, you already started to talk to me about customs lead time and customs valuation. So tell us a bit about your business model and potentially your challenges in Egypt. We have someone to address them on the panel.
I'm so proud to speak about timber. Timber is the big is the biggest business.
The mic is not working.
Yes. Timber is quite different than why we are here. A lot of companies is searching for opportunities, but wood business have been a very long relation between Finland and Egypt for decades. It's my family business starting from Egypt, and I'm proudly represent my two countries, Egypt and Finland here. We are looking to the wood as a business and trading in Egypt, but in Finland, the wood is alive. Forestry and how people take care about the forest and increasing the production. And Egypt have been the biggest market of the redwood import from Finland. So it's a key player for Finland for many years. And it goes in too many different industry in Egypt, not only tradings. And you know, there is around 10% from all the production of Finland goes to Egypt market. It goes, these raw materials, Egypt is importing to manufacture a lot of industry. It goes in development, framing, pellets, even the fiber, the pulp. Even the pulp, sorry. The pulp industry, which goes in too many things, in the tissue papers, in the cups, paper cups, that follow the global new rules of sustainability. So there is a big potential still for the timber business in Egypt to grow more and more. And even according to the Finnish statistics last year, was one of the historical numbers that Egypt reached in volumes. So Egypt volumes from Finland have been growing. So Egypt market trust the quality of the Finnish wood. And it's not happening actually with the competitor and the other producer of wood. So I trust that we can go further, open new opportunities, not only to import wood, to manufacture wood and establish new factories. Back to the point of the customs declaration, it's a of course there is two major, I can see two major challenges for Egypt, in my opinion. The customs declaration in too many business, not only the raw material, in the fully finished materials, which we also bring some of this flooring and other things from Finland to Egypt. The customs declaration tariffs wasn't clear, and also the currency access. The more the currency access in Egypt in the banks is stable, this will encourage a lot of Finnish companies and other countries to invest more in Egypt, but definitely.
Thank you very much, Mark. So, Mohammed Al-Gawsaki, my dear friend, you have waited long enough, and I've prepared from the floor enough ammunition to ask you questions. So, Egypt not communicating well enough what it's doing, customs, red tape, lead time. I mean, be my guest, fire at will.
How much time do you have?
I'll give you, we have 25 minutes left. I will grant you 7 out of those.
No, that's too much. Actually,
I'll grant you 7 out of those because then we have 2 rounds of other questions.
Of course. This is working, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If it had Finnish technology in it, then I assure you it would have worked for the first time, because I'm from the generation that grew on Nokia connecting people, the infamous slogan and the logo, and it's the way to connect through Nokia on a different channel today. So thank you again, and I welcome you all at Gafi, and I think today really marks an important milestone in the relationship between Egypt and Finland. And just to get things into the right perspective, the relationship between Finland and Egypt is built on multiple pillars. One of them is trust, and it's there. The second is the value proposition, and I think the distinguished guests have already spoken about the value proposition that Finland and Egypt brings, but also the complementarities and the competitive advantage. A lot of people, you mentioned red tapes and you mentioned competition. I actually don't hate competition, because competition brings the best out of us. It gives us an incentive to do more and to achieve more. However, while looking at competition, we also need to look at complementarities. And this is what brings real value. Finland presents a clear value proposition that complements what Egypt has today. And I think in a world that lives with a lot of uncertainty, going hand in hand is the way to move forward. There's I think an African slogan that says, if you want to go fast, you go alone, and if you want to go far, you go with company. So we chose to go with partners like Finland, and I think that is a mutual understanding between both countries. The second thing that I would want to go, I'm not dodging the question, I will answer it, I still have my time, right? Of course. The second thing is...
We are in Gavi, you can take all the time.
Of course not. The second pillar that I would want to emphasize on is the institutional and structural reforms that Egypt has taken over the past decade, and specifically over the past few years, because we need, again, it's a continuous line of development, and it's a marathon, not a sprint, but actually the most challenging out of it, it's in the marathon that you need to perform with the sprint speed to catch up with others. And I think this is where the challenge comes. And not because I'm inclined toward the technology, but other than the macroeconomic uncertainty that we live in today, technology brings a challenge and an opportunity at the same time. We all talk about AI and the disastrous potential of having AI, and I think it's a tool that, if used correctly with all the developments that is going, whether on the generative AI or the agentic AI, we need to make sure that AI will not replace people, but people using AI will replace those who are not. So we need to make sure that, and this is what we're actually doing at Gafi, we're trying to embed technology in the DNA of the organization, because the traditional way of looking at things, I think it's long gone, and you need to be proactive and you need to be fast. We have extensive effort not only to digitally transform the organization, but actually to challenge the current processes, and we have an ambitious project to do a process engineering for all the processes that the investors faces, from the establishment to the licensing to the operation to the expansion, because the life cycle has to be looked at end to end. Back to the point that you mentioned about we're not communicating.
I didn't say it, they said it.
And you echoed it, so deeds sounds more impactful than words. So whenever there's a change on the ground, and there is change on the ground, that will take time to develop. But today, when we talk about the golden license, that's a step forward in order to reduce the procedures and the time to establish business. The economic entities platform that we're doing, this will take time to implement. However, what I assure you is, whether on the structural and procedural reform, that is something that once implemented, it will speak on its own. That's one thing. The second thing is, we're trying to activate and to actually implement the incentives that are currently in our investment law. So we have packages of incentives that I agree with you are not promoted correctly, and we're doing today not only promoting them, but actually trying to have discussions with the business community in order to not only to avail the incentives, but actually to have them timely, efficiently, and actually beneficial for what actually the business wants. So are we not communicating well? Yes, we're not communicating to the utmost level that we aspire for, but we're working on it. The second thing is, what we're doing in-house is a continuous process of reform, whether on the procedures or the institutional reform that we have started already. So the train has left the station, and I assure you that you will see some steps as we move along. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think we have around 10 minutes left. I'll try to have 2 rounds of the same question for everyone. I'll go back to His Excellency Arno Surya. sustainability is the name of the game now, and I've kept talking in the beginning about shared lessons, best practices, and so on. What are the key, I mean, sustainability was the talk of town 2 years ago when we few years back when we hosted COP27, and then we still shared COP28 and so on. Everyone in the government I speak to wants to make sure that it was not a one-off kind of activity or action. I'm sure there is a deal of learning that we can get from Finland on how you drive sustainability and ESG reporting into the different businesses.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I would first like to support what my colleague here said, that technology is another thing there, and so that it's definitely a key driver of future cooperation. So I mean, we're talking about AI and those, but the sustainability is definitely the other key, and I think there is a perfect combination because we are seeking sustainability through technological solutions, to be innovative, try to create solutions with our companies. I mean, they will be talking about many examples during the day, I'm for sure. But I think sustainability is always there. I mean, you think how you do recycling, all of those kind of things, in addition to normal production procedures and things like that. And I think that's core also to understand when we talk about investments. So it's basically something that has to be started from the beginning to talk about those issues. And of course, I mean, the government probably will be working on different formations about sustainability as an international thing, so how we will save the planet, but nevertheless the solutions definitely will have to come from the companies and technology providers. And there I think Finland is definitely a good partner. So our strengths still will be, for example, the capability to innovate, what I was talking. So it's still our plan that by 2030 we will invest 4% of our GDP to R&D on many things, and definitely that's one of the goals behind or objectives behind that goal is to have more sustainable solutions. But again, I think it's there also the local presence. If we do it here locally in Egypt, so that builds more trust, and then trust, of course, drives business to another level. And I think the fundamentals there are in place. So now we have to execute. Just thank you.
Thank you. Allow me to switch. I'll go to Ayman, Kurra, and then Mark. Both your businesses could benefit a lot from sustainability, and actually could be impacted a lot about export controls, tariffs, and so on, in case they are not sustainable enough. How are you managing this out of Egypt at this juncture?
No, sustainability is mandatory now. I mean, whether it's foreign joint venture or local ones, it's a trend. We hosted COP27, and there for energy we have two ways. First is the renewable, and secondly is the energy efficiency. And I think there is a lot of room for improvement in energy efficiency, those low-hanging fruit. How to optimize water consumption, how to energy by different methods. So automatically we are world class in that respect, and this is a key factor. So that is, and our product by nature is 100% sustainable. I mean, it's recycle of waste paper, and even when we reject few plastic comes with the raw material, we sell it to the cement factory to use it in energy. So we have 100% biogradable products.
Mark?
Yeah, of course, when you talk about sustainability, wood will be the main product and materials which people using to innovate and develop the future of any country to keep sustainability and recycling. So wood industry have developed a lot and is still developing in Finland in using the pulp in for generating energy, other materials, textile, tissue paper. Of course, maybe in Egypt we are maybe a new market for this. We have the foundation, but still we are behind. We can take a lot of you can say studies and try to follow the global innovation of the sustainability.
Thank you very much. Jean-François Baril, just very quickly on the same theme,
Yeah,
technology as an enabler to sustainability.
Very, very quickly, we have been pioneering the repairability. So we were the first one to introduce repair phone, and this 7 years ago. So we're very, very proud of this one. Thanks to our heritage also in terms of quality, we never cut any corners in terms of quality. So longevity is also something that is very, very close to our heart. And our evolution is very much purposeful innovation. We don't innovate to have gimmick things. We innovate for people, which is useful. And these days, people are very close to their pocket, and they don't want to replace their phone. So that's what we are doing. And we are going to implement that. We are implementing that, in fact, in our manufacturing, thanks to our partner, SICO, maybe is in the room over there, for very strict sustainability rules.
Thank you very much. So we have a little bit less than 10 minutes left. I still want to abord one final theme with all of you before allowing potentially everyone a little bit less than a minute for final remarks. So as I mentioned in the beginning, we are almost $100 billion of GDP more, but we're also 100 million people more than correctly. So here is the dimension of an opportunity of leveraging Egyptian human capital. The Egyptian human capital is a very strong point. And this human capital is young, and despite the fact that there is no lady